All right. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar, where we will be looking at an exciting topic on research, a journey through your research project. So I have a presentation with me that I'm going to uh, share with everyone on the call. Okay, okay. Why is it starting? Sorry. All right, okay. Thank you for joining Ali Kingston Milan from wherever you are. And thank you for your time once again. All right. I have come up with this webinar this evening just to have a conversation with those people aspiring to pursue a master's program, or those who are already doing the master's program. Today's subject will be just to look at the unwritten guide for the research journey. I want to say that this is not a research methodology or research methods. It's just a conversation how the journey is when you are committing your time and other resources to pursue your master's or to pursue your research. So we will have a conversation around that journey and see how we can benefit from that. So at this moment, I want to believe that we are prepared to listen and just share with me how your journey has been. And I will share with you my journey, and I will share with you my experience. Let me begin by saying that any student who is aspiring or who applies for a master's program, there are some institutions that will require you at some point to write a research paper. And there are some institutions before you even they admit you for the program, they will ask you to present an abstract or the idea of what you want to research. Those universities, I can say, they prepare you in the right direction, and some they don't. So I want to believe that even when you want to pursue your master's program, it's done with some objectives or some purpose. But I know we have different objectives and purposes. And I have noted some students, they want to do the MBA because there is an opportunity in the work environment where they are working. There's an opportunity for promotion, and others, it's for the future career progress. So we have different objectives, and this journey now, along the way, moving from the known to the unknown, others, they find it so difficult. So at the postgraduate or undergraduate, when you're having those, the classroom lessons, there are some guides which are never taught in the classroom. But along the way, you begin to face some cultural shock, I can use that word, or some shock. And then you are disturbed. You don't know what to do, and you don't know where to start from. So it's from this background, with my experience, my interaction with the learners, I say, let me just come up with the content that will guide others. My name is Ali Kingston Miller, like I mentioned earlier on, and I wear many hats. Those people who know me for quite a long time, they associate me with IT and cybersecurity. But along the way, the journey through my part-time lecturing and associating myself with academicians, I have learned the art of helping students or guiding students with their research projects. And throughout my part-time as a part-time lecturer, I possess some qualifications as well that makes me to have the competence and authority to guide learners in their research projects and research journey. I worked for different institutions with the mining, ISPs, transport and logistics, hospitality, and different companies, I can say. So I hear you talk about my qualification, but for the purpose of this gathering that we have here, I can mention some of my qualifications. I possess an executive MBA. I have that MBA. It's a specialization in leadership and entrepreneurship. It was an interesting moment and journey when I was pursuing this executive MBA, and I have a Master of Engineering in ICT security, a postgraduate diploma in supervision and examination of student research projects, dissertations and thesis, and a master's in IT, and as well as teaching methodology and other qualifications. So you can visit my Facebook channel page, LinkedIn, and just on social media. When you check there, you are going to find me. I use this same name, Alikins Tumila. You can get to know more about me, and we can begin to interact. All right. So I want to believe that at the end of this 20 to 30 minutes conversation that we're having, I am expecting you that you should be able to select your research topic with curiosity and enthusiasm. And you should be able to understand the literature review and the theoretical background. And furthermore, to apply the empirical explorations and beyond that, intellectual engagement. And of course, this journey, you will face some challenges and obstacles. So you need to apply yourself with resilience to solve these problems. So this is what I'm expecting. I mentioned earlier that this is not a research method, but it's just to look at the journey as you are navigating through this journey to pursue your research. You will encounter different things at different stages. So as the journey begins, curiosity is very important. And then you need to go through some literature review. You need to get at some point over the empirical exploration, which will involve some data collection, analysis, and we will look as well at the intellectual engagement. We look at the challenges, and the resilience and problem-solving skills. And there is always a point where you will need to publish your research. And the eighth and the last, we will look at the conclusion, and I will give you an opportunity to ask questions and as well as to make your contributions. So to start with, any research journey, I want to believe at this stage, whether you have already done maybe the coursework or you have not yet applied and you are thinking of getting into this journey, any research journey begins with enthusiasm, it begins with curiosity, and this is what will motivate you. And the journey begins with a sense of curiosity as you want to explore maybe a certain topic. Research is about you are asking questions in a specific area, or you are questioning what is happening, what happened in the past, what is happening now, or what will happen now, and how it is done. So even the little ones, you will find that the children are more curious about anything. So even yourself, as you start your research journey, you need to have that kind of motivation. I know the motivation, it could be because you're looking for promotion, the motivation or the confidence, it could be because you know what you are looking for. Yes, that's it. So curiosity and enthusiasm leads to have a better topic selection. Having a genuine interest in a subject to choose a topic, that sparks curiosity. That is the step number one. I am having this conversation because I have seen learners, if you belong or you are studying from certain universities where you are reporting on Tuesday for classes, or you just receive the email notification that Friday you are supposed to submit your research topic. And some learners, they miss that opportunity. Maybe it only happens twice or once in a year. And in that event, what do? Your university just sends a notification that on Monday, share your research topic. A lot of students, they have struggled to find a research topic. It's because they lack curiosity in this. In which area are you curious? If you find yourself you are curious about something, let me give an example. When I was doing my master's and master of engineering in cyber security or ICT security, I was so curious and wanted to know more about cyber attacks in a critical infrastructure environment. I read so much about what happened in Iran, what happened somewhere in Kosovo. All those when banks and the nuclear plants were being attacked. And this time, what happened, like in the US, when the oil plant was attacked and the hospital was attacked. Though these are critical infrastructures, but why do hackers want to be attacking? Why do an hacker want to go and attack a hospital? Why do an hacker want to go and attack a nuclear power station that is producing energy? So I had all these questions, why and how it is done. So it was easy for me to research and come up with a topic because I was so curious and I was so motivated to do that. So motivation now led me to do, which is on point number 2, led me to investigate that topic, and it made me now to explore deeper in that subject. So as you start your master's program, or you're about to start, what is it that you are curious about? So begin to ask questions and begin to dig deep and be motivated. This is the right approach to take or to start with when you are embark in the research project, and you begin to engage yourself fully. When you are confident, when you are curious, want to believe that you will engage yourself fully so that you can understand. You will begin to listen from the news, you begin to listen from experts in that field. Let's say you want to, like what is happening right now in Zambia, where we experienced the drought. You are so curious about what will happen after this period. So you are able now to start engaging with resources where drought has happened before, how they manage. So you engagement will enhance you to have to be encouraged, and you will be more creative. Engagement will lead you to seek expert advice. Many students who are pursuing their masters will find that they engage more maybe with people to discuss about soccer, to discuss, I'm not against that, to discuss about entertainment, but engage now in a scholarly way, something that leads to what you want to pursue. I tell you, you will enjoy the research. Pursuing a research to some extent, I can say it's a lonely journey, but it's exciting when you apply what we are learning or what we are discussing here. And I want to say that as you have identified the problem somewhere, when you dig deeper, you begin to find you are addressing a solution to this problem. You begin to find an answered questions that you will begin now to answer. So I want to say that you can now explore different angles, seek alternative perspective, and develop innovations. So this is where curiosity and enthusiasm will lead you to. And that now, point number 5, you will begin to discover what you didn't know. Remember, you are moving from what is known, you begin to go into what is not known. When you begin to find the things that you don't know, don't give up. And you will begin to meet unexpected findings, alternative point of views or viewpoints that some may appear like putting you off, but you shouldn't do that. That is just part of intellectual growth. This is where now you find that a person who is pursuing a master's, their level of thinking and looking at issues, it's different. And curiosity leads you to effective communications. And as you find the results from your research, and you will begin to communicate with other academicians or scholars. So curiosity and enthusiasm will lay the foundation for a productive research journey. And topic selection involves you will be motivated and you overcome the challenges when you are confident, when you know what you are looking for and you have these problem-solving skills, you will find that you are not going to give up. So I want to say that cultivating curiosity and enthusiasm is crucial for a fulfilling and successful research experience. Let's look at the part of literature review and theoretical background. So to conduct an extensive literature review and theoretical groundwork will contextualize your research within existing scholarship or scholarly and identify the gaps. Sometimes you will write your research paper and then your supervisor responds by saying, I can't see any scholarly work in this research project. Is there, what gap have you identified? Let me give an example. Let's imagine that you are studying psychology. I think you should be more interested to learn about certain theories. So part of literature review is to identify relevant literature. Some theories you can maybe go to the extent of looking at the mindfulness techniques and stress management. And this literature, in many cases, you don't find it just by typing the Google search, and then you need to go to some scholarly and journal databases and websites. You will be amazed how much data you will find. So you will need to collect that kind of, you identify the literature that aligns with your topic, and then you look for some theoretical frameworks that supports your views, and it's from there that you will begin to identify the gaps. Let me give an example. The Abraham Maslow theory of hierarchy of needs. You would find, you can, at this present time, with the hierarchy there, You can propose something that today to some people, or in the larger percentage of the population today that requires internet. So today, internet, it has become like a need. And you will discover that even in prisons, in hospitals, airports everywhere, they provide free internet. So from Abraham's Maslow hierarchy of needs, you can add, or you can argue that from this theory, or from this framework, there is this gap in this present time. So you build up from there. This is how you identify the research gaps. And the research gap will assist you now establishing the conceptual foundations which you are going to apply even in your empirical approach. So let's give an example that you are an education student, so you are researching on exploring the efficacy of inquiry-based learning. Revisit seminar works by John Dewey and the other scholars. So you may need to look at what they have done, and it will connect you to the present moment. I mentioned about the empirical exploration. This is the moment you set your topic, it will connect you what variables are independent variables and dependable variables that you are going to use for your data collection, data analysis, interpretation, and it will lead you to the new insight. Let me say this, I'm sure some you can even agree or admit with me. Depending on the topic that you have picked, there are times where when it's the time to collect the data, you realize that you cannot access certain institutions. They cannot give you the data, or when you take your research instruments, there are some organizations, they will not respond. So as you are preparing, you are setting the topic, you need to bear in mind and understand all these things, so that at some point when you start collecting data, you will not be lost because the participants or the respondents are not participating, or they are not sending you the information. I have observed this, it happens so much. A lot of students, they will stay for 3 months, they will stay for a long period of time waiting for the data, because the data, the data they are looking for is not being presented. The participants are busy. Participants, you require certain procedures or protocols to follow before you are authorized to get the data. And you need to bear in mind the kind of the data you are collecting. It must point to the certain tools that you are going to use to analyze the data. You find that you collected certain information, but you find that the tool to analyze the data with, you can't find it. You don't have, or you are not competent. So if you have projected in your methodology that you are going to use a starter, you're going to use SPSS, you're going to use a certain tool to analyze your data, you need to make sure that you understand, or you begin to learn that application or that tool. And it will help you, and you will find that you are going to have a seamless approach when it comes to interpret your data. And along the way, you begin to generate new insights. You learn the application, and then you begin to receive a lot of revelations from the data that you have gathered or that you have analyzed. Let's look at the intellectual engagement. This is a quite interesting part in the journey of a student who is pursuing research. The research journey involves intense intellectual engagement characterized by experimentation, analysis, reflection as the student grapples with methodical complexities and adapts their approach based on emerging insights. What do I mean when I say intellectual engagement? This is the part where students sometimes they feel like they are lonely or they are lost. You don't have anyone to talk to. At this moment, this is where you need support from the people who have done the course that you are doing. Approach them, approach them. They will give you advice, and you'll find that some they can even mentor you. But in most cases, we find ourselves not aligning with these people so that we can have this intellectual engagement with these people. I mentioned earlier that you will find that the people you are surrounded yourself with, when you meet, you are just discussing something which is not aligned with your research. You are discussing about politics, and maybe your area of research is just opposite with what you are discussing, but you are looking at climate change as your subject, but you find that the people you're having conversation with, you are talking about soccer. The people you're having conversation with, you are talking about the latest motor vehicles, the latest engines, and all that. So intellectual engagement, it's the process that the process of intellectual engagement drives you to pursue knowledge, understand better in your field. And intellectual engagement, it allows you to access a variety of resources from other people and the methods that you may encounter along the way. I hope I am clear as and I dive into item number 5, which is challenges and obstacles. I think this is one of the important step that we need to look at. I know a lot of students about the challenges that they face. All they want is just to give up. We are never told that when you are going through this journey, you will meet these obstacles, and especially when we are just starting. But through the journey, you will encounter various challenges, obstacles, which is methodical differences or difficulties in your research. You find that the research, the writing of the research, you find that it requires you are in isolation, people are sleeping, you are up, you have personal problems, and especially as an adult, you will find that all the reasons, all the obstacles you are facing, you are not the only one. They are genuine. Number one, it's a supervisor-student relationship. A lot of students, they complain about their supervisors, and you find the supervisors complain about their students. So along the way, student supervision is critical to the success of their learning experience. This is very important. At this moment, you are located with your supervisor. Set some clear expectations and clear communications. A lot of students, you will find that you call your supervisor, it doesn't pick your calls. You write mails, it doesn't respond to mails. I remember when I was doing my master's, we set some clear objectives with my supervisor. He asked me what should I expect from you, and what are you expecting from me? So we sat with my supervisor. I told him that I want to graduate the next graduation, and I will do my best to respond to the comments and the guide that you are going to set. And he told me, how often do you want us to meet? We discussed when we should meet and the model of communication. We discussed and said on Sunday, you can be sending your documents so that on Monday, I look at it, on Tuesday, I send it back. And this is how we kept, and because of that, my research journey was so excellent. A lot of supervisors today, or maybe you, the student, set up your goals, set up your expectations, meet your supervisor, tell your supervisor to say, I want, sir, "Oh, madam, or professor, or doctor, my aim is to graduate the next graduation that is coming in 6 months from now. I need your support." The supervisor will know that this is what you want. In most cases, we don't do that. Supervisor-student relationship, I have heard of some, or I've read some comments on social media where maybe supervisor-student relationship, it tends away from what was supposed to be. I think where you find the student is asking the supervisor that I want to invite you for dinner, for a cup of coffee, or for a beer, or for something so that we can have some good time. I think set some clear expectations from there. If you are married, or if your supervisor is married, I think it's from there that needs to be established. And academic roadblocks. My lecturer, I didn't get permission to mention his name. I think he taught me these things that I'm sharing, like at this moment, to say it's not everyone who is good at everything. So even as we pursue our masters, we pursue doctorate, there are times when you find that some students, or maybe even yourself, you will find that your writing skills are not up to the standards. Don't be discouraged. Sometimes your supervisor will respond that poor grammar, your supervisor will respond your English is not okay, and all that. Those are the roadblocks we encounter, but you need to be resilient and learn, like me or many others. If you know that you need to improve in writing skills, you need to improve in conceptualization or simulating ideas, and you need to learn and improve your English and analytical skills, so you can dive into different books and like that. Another item which based on the challenges, everyone is going through something we just don't know. But when you begin this research journey, you find that there's some illnesses, maybe yourself or someone in your family or your child, sometimes financial problems, and somewhere along the way, you even begin to doubt yourself whether you have made the right choice. And if you don't have a friend, if you don't have a supervisor, if you are not part of meeting these people, having these intellectual engagements, you will find that whatever excuse you are going to give, it will be justifiable. So communicate with your supervisor so that he understands what you are going through. And the supervisor, I'm sure he will understand. Not so long ago, I was coaching a student from one of the universities who needed help. So I think she got pregnant along the way. And then it was a time to go and present their topics. And then she said, I can't go. I can't go. And I said, in fact, this is the right moment to go and present. Just go and present your topic, and let's hear what they will say. I'm sure those are human beings, and in fact, they will even sympathize with you. This lady went and presented the topic, and what she got from the panel, she just said, "You are a strong woman," and she proceeded to the next topic. She could have said, I'm not going because my pregnancy is so heavy, I can't go. I've heard of some stories from my fellow lecturers or research supervisors where the woman shows up to defend her research paper, and then just makes a disclaimer to say, sorry, I'm just coming from the hospital. For the last 3 days, I've been nursing my sister who is in the hospital. Yes, I cannot give her life, but she just needs me on the bedside. So for the past 2 years, I've been working on this research. I just thought that for the 15 minutes, I can come and present my research, or I can defend my research. And everyone on the panel was quiet, listening from this woman. And from that, because people got so touched, she passed. She could have said, I'm not coming because my sister is in there. So these are matters at times. We can't rule whether what she did was right or what she did was wrong. But at that moment, that's what she decided. Most of us, we would rather choose to stay home because we are not feeling well, or we have a patient at home. But these are the challenges that we go through as individuals. And we, in the field, we're doing the research, you find that people are not responding. I mentioned this area on where ethics in the field. You are a student, you are doing research, you begin to go late, or people are coming late to attend to you. These are the obstacles, the challenges. You may even give up, you may break down that these people I have submitted the research, my research, my questionnaires, they are not responding. Let me tell you a story where some institution where I had to submit three times. The fourth time, this officer, the public relations officer, just said, Mr. Miller, I am going to pick this just at a personal level. I will walk to the people and see that they sign, and you will come and collect, because now I understand. The first time you said you brought a paper, they got lost. And this time you have brought a paper, they got lost, and again, and then this time, let me help you. So I could have given up. But on the fourth time, someone showed up to assist me. There was a time again where I applied for some institution to do my research. This institution, or this they responded after 2 years. So you can imagine. So without motivation, it's difficult. So from time to time, you need to see that you are motivated as you are doing your research. And then your supervisor will motivate you, and you need to be to have self motivation. And the last item I can mention, it's engage in ideas and argument. So it's normal to have some arguments. Sometimes it may be your supervisor who will say something which is academically. So engage in those conversations. It will help you just to stimulate your intellectual capabilities and the climate for the research. It's very, very interesting. And before I proceed, I can ask if there are some questions. I think I've spoken a lot. I'm about to end in the next two slides. Any questions, comments at this moment? You can type if you have a question. Am I too fast? Do you have any question, Cleoma? All right. It seems there are no questions. Let me proceed. As you pursue this journey, you will find that there are some arranged opportunities. I have met colleagues or students who would say, my supervisor is so difficult. He sees something on the internet, he sends it to me, read. He sees something somewhere on the news, he sends it to me. He has a lot of time in his hands. There is a conference somewhere, he says, go and attend. No. Is preparing you so that you attend, you meet intellectuals, your fellow intellectuals, is preparing these so that you can you can acquire the knowledge that is required. If you have that kind of a supervisor, just thank him, because he's doing you a lot of justice and favor by arranging such opportunities. I have heard of some stories where supervisors, they have even connected students for scholarship, and they have connected the students for some international fellowships, for international, I can say, knowledge or exchange, or knowledge or cultural exchange programs. So if you are fortunate, you can find yourself attending such programs if you have that kind of a supervisor. And as you are doing your research, you will find at times that you lose interest. You find that you are not motivated because the supervisor is not responding. Sometimes these supervisors, you find that they are maybe supervising more students. So the response time, and you find that it doesn't pick calls, and then you begin to lose interest. You find that you are losing interest. So even maybe the supervisor is also experiencing that. But as the person who initiated, you remember we say that the journey starts with being curious, and you have motivated, you have the confidence that you will run through. Without enthusiasm, it will be very difficult to pursue anything. You lose interest, you find that you stop. So I have met students who have come to me, who have approached me that I wrote chapter 1, my supervisor is not responding. Others, they will go, other students, they will be happy. The supervisor is not responding, and then they sit quiet, and then they are not responding. I have seen students, the supervisor, I tell them, keep on writing. He's not responding, go to chapter 2. He's not responding, go to chapter 3. He's not responding, go to chapter 4. And there's some institutions where they will just say, send your topics or send your papers for examination, so that you can graduate. There's a graduation coming up in the next 2 months. And this student who was sending, and he has finished the whole document, he just went to the supervisor's office and said, "Sir, I have been writing and I want to graduate in 2 months, in 2 months' time. So look at this document, let's sit together." And then he said, "You did well to write all these things." They went together through the entire document, and it was now sent for examination. It was marked, and the student defended. And some of the students who kept quiet, who sat because the supervisor was not responding, they did not graduate. I am one of those students where my supervisor at some point was not responding, and I found myself going through the process, and the co-supervisor picked it up because he saw my commitment. And in my class of 19, I was the only one who graduated. So I'm saying this because I've been there, and I've met students who have had such encounters. And poor planning in time, just like I mentioned earlier, that we need to move away from the concept saying Zambian time. There's no such a thing as Zambian time when it comes to your life, and when you have invested the resources. So plan. Say it to yourself that this coursework, which will last for this 1 year, the next 1 year, which will be like for my research, you have to finish in 6 months and begin to polish your research. Give yourself time. Right now, I know students whom I was with in 2018, up to now, they have not graduated. They keep postponing, and we found some who have not graduated. Some students along the way, they give up. So plan so that you work within the allocated time. All right. Okay, so resilience and problem solving skill. This is very important. Along the way, there are a lot of challenges that you will face. Your laptop may crash, and then how do you do that? You need to bounce back. Along the way, maybe you find a supervisor resigns from the institution. What do you do? Along the way, you find that the work is demanding a lot. You need to find a way of bouncing back. Number one, I can give an example where maybe your laptop crashes, your laptop stops working. People have given excuses. So always have a backup plan. When it comes to the technology, send something on the cloud so that in case your laptop is stolen, you won't get lost. You will still you will continue with your research. There are times where you don't know the tool that you are using. You need to learn, I mentioned earlier. So you need to bounce back by learning, studying how SPSS works, how Excel works. You need to learn. There are times when you put everything together, you find that it's not adding up. It's not adding up. You don't get discouraged. You put the data together, you are analyzing, and you find that it's inconsistent in your finding, and you can't even explain it. These are the problems that you face, but you need to be resilient and come back. And there are moments when you will face criticisms and response from your supervisor or people who looks at your document. They criticize you by giving you the feedback which you feel like you've been humiliated. Just get back on your feet. Take it as positive criticism, because you have no control. But they have said that it's very common for people to get discouraged, and you can even get emotional, and say your supervisor just doesn't like you. Those are the moments that you need to be resilient and come back to yourself and continue. That's just a process. An example I can give is just where the committee criticizes you. They will ask you, are you a master's student? You are giving us a paper like you are at undergraduate. That's normal, but they want to make sure that you come out a perfect graduate student. So this process will help you to gain problem solving skills and to be resilient. And the last part in our conversation is the culmination and dissemination of your research. So the research journey, culmination in the dissemination of findings through academic publications, conferences, presentation, or other forms of scholarly communication, making your contribution to be relevant in your field. I'm sure you have met some people who will ask you, you're a master's student or you're a doctorate student. What are you working on? Where can I find some of your work? So it is normal where people will ask where you have published your work. So along the way, you need to find the journal that aligns with what you are working on, and the journal, high-rated journal, where when you publish, it may land you into some scholarship somewhere if your findings or your journal was published in a high-rated journal. So there are some classes in these journals where we publish. Don't just publish in a journal because it's for free or it's not very expensive, it's cheaper, or it's what, but look for the journal. Consult with your supervisor, and so that you can publish in a scientific journal. And there is always a moment when you will need to go and present. So I've seen students, I mentioned earlier, when it's a time for presentation, we are not ready, regardless of your circumstance or situation. I may also say that circumstances, they differ. But if it's a situation that can allow you to have prepared yourself and it's time to go and present, just go there and show yourself, present your topic. And before you present, just go through your PowerPoint and study, do some rehearsals, practice, so that when you begin to speak, you speak, it is coming from you. You own the document, you own the paper, and you will find that it will give you a sense of fulfillment and a sense of satisfaction. And along the way, you will find yourself now graduating as you present your findings globally, and in different communities. You will make your name as a graduate. So in conclusion, I can say that it is always good to bring up something new, some new facts. So we looked at selecting your topic with curiosity and the enthusiasm. This is very important. You need to understand where to pick your literature review, and you need to understand to get the content that aligns with your literature review, to look at the gaps and where your research will fit in, or the problem the research will solve. You apply your empirical exploration, the data that you are collecting, the tools and your findings and the new ideas, intellectual engagement, find new people or find people who have done the course that you are doing, the research that you have done before, reach out to them, let them be your friends. You will find that they will be willing to assist you. And we also looked at the challenges, obstacles that you face. Don't give up. But don't give up, don't give up. Just move on, just move on. You develop resilience and problem-solving skills, and you will find that this whole journey will be fulfilling, and you will enjoy it. So let me say that if you have anything you want to reach out to me and my team, we do offer some academic research service consultancy. We help if you are struggling to find your research topic, research questions. We can guide you, we can coach you, we can assist you with guidance. Get it from me. We can help you with guidance with your dissertation, how to go about with your data collection. We can guide you where you're not understanding when your supervisor responds. We can help you to review the chapters, what you have written before you go. We can assist you to analyze your data, but we work with you so that you own this document. And we do as well. There are some institutions that will ask you to look for an independent supervisor or an external supervisor. We have the team, and we can help you with that, people with relevant qualifications. So you can reach out to me, my team. You can write to smartversity. Sorry, I left a letter, smartversity@gmail.com. You can reach out. The numbers are on the screen, and you can also search for me. We will link you with my team. They will be able to support you. This moment, if you have any questions, any questions, I may not have all the answers, but we can have a conversation and look at the answers. Thank you very much. Any questions? All right. It seems like there are no questions. You have any question you can ask, sir?
Oh yeah, just a quick one.
Please, you're welcome.
Yes. When we talked about curiosity,
yes, sir.
There are moments when I don't know if I can say overzealous. You choose a topic that could be a bit engaging, and looking at the time frame that you are given.
Yes.
Sometimes the time frame is limited. So is it wise to go for a much easier topic than I don't know how to balance.
You can go ahead.
Yes, I don't know how to balance, because at times you find yourself, you have a very good topic, but maybe the literature surrounding the topic you want to engage in is limited, and looking at the time frame is also limited. So what would be your advice on such a case?
Thank you very much. I think this is why we are having this conversation. I think when you choose the topic that is very complex, those challenges are there. So as you are choosing a topic, you discover that it's so broad, it's so wide, it requires time. So if you really want this topic, this is where now, as you begin to dive deeper, you are so motivated, and you dive deeper into research learn more about this subject, what my experience, you begin to narrow your objectives, so that maybe I will give an example where you want to do a research that may even cover some parts of Zambia, for argument's sake, where you will need to go and conduct a research from Eastern Province to Solwezi to interview a person, and then you find that you will need, and it's sponsorship. So driving from where you are to Solwezi and the other logistics, it will be expensive. You may not. So my experience is where we say, instead of saying a case for Zambia, or you want to focus it's so broad, let's just narrow it so that you look at Katete district or Petahuke district, so that you maintain your purpose or your dream. That's what you want to achieve, but you just say, let me narrow it in my locality so that I can graduate. So this is where, when you are making recommendations, you can say future research can be extended to other parts of Zambia or other parts of the nation. That's another option that you can consider, unless you have maybe another topic that you may have. That's why the university will ask you to present at least 3 topics, and then you pick one from there, or they will guide your supervisor can guide you. So in this case, like in my case, the subject that I did, or the research I did at master's, it's something which I'm applying for PhD. I did assessment of cyber security preparedness in Zambia, with focus on private and public sectors, and I developed a model that can be used. My research has been used, and some of the findings I got, it's other institutions, they have used it. And now, this time, I want to do the same research on critical infrastructure, now applying AI and social engineering. It's the same field, but I want to take it higher. So if I could have gotten the same component I want to do today at the master's, it was going to be so complex. So I'm wondering if I have answered your question, Mr. Keshas.
Oh, yes, you have. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah.
All right. You have another question, another comment or contribution?
Yes, I when I was applying to attend this, there's a question I posed, like in an event where your supervisor directs you on a certain component, but you have certain knowledge that, and you know that you are, maybe the supervisor might not really get the concept, or maybe the supervisor is wrong to some extent. How would you handle that? And we are human, so maybe the supervisor, I don't know if you get my point.
Thank you. Yes, I've gotten your point. I would say it's normal, and those situations are very common, where I have seen before a student being taught by the supervisor to correct something. The student makes the correction, and then the supervisor, the next time, he tells the student, I want you to write this, not this. And then the student says, but what you are telling me not to write today, this is what I wrote previously. But what is it that you want? I think there was like some confrontation. I know what I do. So in my experience, I tell learners that your supervisor, to some extent, is your gateway, is your bridge to have a successful research journey. Most students today are suffering, are not graduating because the supervisors are not responding. I mentioned earlier, but in your case, where your supervisor gives you a wrong guide, I want to believe at that moment you need divine intervention. If you believe in the higher or the infinity intelligence, I can say. But as human beings, you can always find a way where you can pose a question again to ask, how do you want it to be? Are you able to demonstrate? I know there are supervisors who can do that. And where you are not sure, you ask him. If he responds, you can. But what I believe, when you are given a supervisor, he guides and is like he's more competent in your field. So if you find a way, not like embarrassing him, but sitting with him, and especially where you can just go, I think so we just need to meet so that this issue, I understand it well, how you want it to be. It will be easier, and especially when you tell your supervisor, just guide me because I seem to be lost. I'm not getting it the direction you want to take. Everyone naturally will feel excited when someone is humbling himself or herself to you, seeking your guidance or direction. You find that the supervisor can answer. And I can say it's very tricky to approach your supervisor to say, sir, you are wrong. You need to apply some wisdom and to find ways that will make him realize that he is wrong, but you don't need to say, to use the word, sir, you are wrong. This is not the way it is done. You need to find wisdom depending on the context and the mood, but the best is to find, if it's within the location, the locality, call him so that you meet. If he's maybe abroad, just set up a Zoom call or WhatsApp or whatever way so that you interface and have a real-time conversation line. Then you write an email, he responds, you write an email, it will be very difficult. I hope I have answered your question.
Oh, thank you so much. You have. Thank you for the guidance.
What are you pursuing, if I may ask you?
Oh, no, for me, I'm yet to start, but I've just been helping students with their research work.
Excellent. Thank you very much. I think you are doing a good job. Just dive into that, and then we can have more conversations in the background. Thelma, I have not heard from you. I'm wondering if you are on the call, or you are in a position where you cannot talk. Maybe you can type. Okay, I've not gotten anything from Thelma. So thank you very much for enduring up to this time. Maybe I can just get the feedback from you before we end the call. What are your key takeaways or your experience during this session? Mr. Kenishas, Mr. Keshas.
Oh, yes, sir.
Yes. Yeah, I'm just to get your feedback, your experience during this session of our conversation, and your key takeaways, and what you want to share with me and even others.
Okay. Well, I've learned quite a lot, and I really appreciate, especially on the challenges and obstacles, resilience and problem solving. It's been eye-opening. Also on the intellectual engagement, where you can even, I was even relating maybe at a work setup, you even engage indirectly, maybe your colleagues, you are having discussions, then you're able to get one or two points.
Yes.
So at times you may not even be deliberately telling them that you are trying to research on something, you just bring it out as a topic.
Exactly, that's how it's supposed to be. Yes, go ahead. Thank you. Go ahead.
Sure. So at least you can get one or two points. And I just like the way you've done the whole presentation. It's so easy to follow. It's eye-opening. I really appreciate. We
Thank you.
hope to have more of such.
Yeah, sure. I will do my best for sure, because I have observed. I'm so passionate. I help learners, and I see them struggling with their research. I know people who have done their coursework, but for the last 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 7 years, they have not done the research because they are lost. They don't have a topic. They don't know where to start from. So they are lacking curiosity, enthusiasm. They are lacking motivation. They are not reading. They are not consulting any literature. They are not observing around their community to see the problem they can resolve. So these are the issues that we need to look at. You find that what I've shared here, it's never taught. I'm wondering, you've been to the university, you are helping learners. I don't know if there is any learner who has been taught what I have shared. I'm not trying to speak so high, but I know I'm speaking to people whom I know that they have this problem, and I can help them because this what I have shared, the tips and the unwritten guides that I have shared. You won't even hear it from the supervisor. When you go through the course research methods, you will not find this. That's why I said earlier that this is not a research methodology course, but just a conversation around the research project journey, what you encounter and how you go through. So I want to believe that at the end, we all want to have a fulfilling exit or fulfilling graduation or fulfilling and memorable event. You can, when you look back, it excites you. When you look at where you are even proud. So a research should be something that it is challenging but exciting. So my commitment is to help students have that kind of fulfilling and memorable journey through their research and dissertation presentation.
That's true. That's true.
Sure. All right, I think we have gone beyond the time I thought I will commit myself to. Thank you very much, Mr. Cassius. We can be exchanging some notes whenever you need some help, or whenever you have some thoughts that you need to share with me, or even this community. We need to interact and exchange some notes. I can make some referrals, students who need help, since you have mentioned that you do coach students as well. So it's a global community where it's about making impact in our communities. Where you are in the eastern part of Zambia, you need support, where you need support from like-minded people, where we can see that we create and share value with the learners.
Okay.
All right, I can see Thelma, you are back. Thelma, hello?
This technology thing, it's difficult, you know. I've been following from the start. Now I was unable to talk.
Okay, I was asking that you have any question or any comment, and we're about to close. Any question, Thelma, now that you can speak?
Yes, I've really gained a lot from this presentation. I appreciate.
Thank you.
From the contact details you've given, I'll be able to get to you so that you can assist me. I'm doing my master's in mathematics education.
Excellent, excellent. Where, if I can ask you?
I'm doing it with the DMI St. Eugene here in Livingstone.
Okay, DMI St. Eugene. Okay.
Yes.
Oh, you are based in Livingstone.
Yes.
Okay, excellent, excellent. That's good. So, just to ask, do you have any question from what I have presented?
Yes, I just wanted to ask on the second part where you're talking about literature review and theoretical groundwork on analyzing theoretical framework.
Yes, please.
I am finding it difficult to come up with this theoretical groundwork or theoretical framework.
Okay.
I find it difficult on how to come up with, especially establishing it. How do you
Okay.
come up with it? Because there are those variables, what. So I've seen what others have written, but it's difficult understanding it properly.
Okay, so okay, great. Thank you. So in that case, we may need to get engaged. You send me the topic exactly or the area of focus. Now, what I can say is that when you are looking at the theoretical framework, so it's now you may need to get to the history of theorists who came up with certain concepts in mathematics, solving certain problems. So I think there are some mathematical theories or some, we can say formulas. So in mathematics, it's the formula. So certain formulas that you will be adopting who are behind those in mathematics, who are behind those formulas. So in mathematics, it's the formulas and how they were explaining and how they were coming up with those formulas. I think in mathematics, if I can remember, what formula can I recall? Maybe help me to recall any of the founders or the inventors of certain formulas in mathematics. Help me on that one. Just any,
Like
sorry?
Cramer's rule in matrices.
Exactly. So you find that how was coming up with those formulas. So depending now the direction that you are taking. So when it comes to look at the variables, so now the independent variables are those ones that you can manipulate, those ones that you can treat. What are those variables? So you can see from their literature the things that you can change in mathematics, and you will believe that the dependable variables may be those tools that you are going to use in your research. So now, as you develop, is it a questionnaire that you're going to use, or are you coming up with some formulas? So the dependable formulas, I mean, the dependables may be from the already established formulas, and the independent variables, those ones that you want to start manipulating, those ones that wants to treat, and they give you some result. So what I can say furthermore is I would like to look at your objectives as well, because the objectives, they will determine the methodology that you are using, and then the methodology from there, what kind of methods of collecting data are you using, and what kind of method are you going to use to analyze? Are you going by design a prototype or something like that?
Okay, in that case, then
Mhm.
I don't know which line you use on WhatsApp so that I can be able to communicate with you.
All my lines are only on WhatsApp. All these lines, even right now when you text, all of them are online. All of them
Okay.
are online. Sure. Any more contribution or question?
For now, that would be all. I really appreciate I've gained a lot. I was lagging behind on certain topics, but it was an eye-opener and
Okay.
very educational. I really appreciate.
Thank you very much for your time as well. I'm so excited that you have picked something and you have asked a question that is so important, which we are going to look at even in the offline and have some more conversation around that. And I'm happy that we're doing something in mathematics with education. I don't know whether your specialization will be like to become the teacher, or your specialization will be like to go and pursue some, let's say, business analytics, somewhere to analyze business marketing or financial, because I know people doing mathematics, they go to do some business analysis. So what are you looking at? What is your current, like if you're working, or what are you looking, who do you want to become when you finish your research?
At the moment, I've not yet decided. I've just wanted to have that advantaged side where you are privileged because of the paper that you have. It means you can be anything, can be anywhere. Currently, because of this paper, maybe I've been promoted. I'm the deputy at a secondary school.
Oh, excellent. Excellent.
Yes, I'm a teacher.
Congratulations in advance. Sure. I mentioned earlier that when we're doing a master's, we have different objectives. I'm happy that you have those objectives. But what I can advise doing mathematics in this age, Theoma or Madam Theoma, I may not know exactly like your zeal or motivation or curiosity to try to learn a bit some Python, so that you can dive into data mining or data analytics. People with statistics, calculus, these mathematics background, they are good at data analytics and big data management, anything to do with business intelligence, data analytics, because of using these formulas and dive into a big pool of data and present it in the more, what can I say, in a more friendly manner. So I don't know if you have thought about that, but you don't need to be a programmer, but all you need to know, you are a mathematician, all you need to know is to apply the rules, to apply some formulas. This time when it comes to learning Python, you use the high-level language, which is the language that we use, and for the mathematics, the same language that you use to explain, to solve a problem so that it gives you some desired results. So I'm wondering if you've been thinking in that way, it can earn you some good, maybe money, and it's something that you can even enjoy at your age, the age that you have, and you can do so much. So I'm wondering if you can be curious to dive into the Python so that you get into business intelligence or data analytics.
I think I'll look into that once I am done with this program, so that during my spare time, I can do that course aside teaching, so that I can have like a wider perspective.
Exactly.
So I'll look into that. I'm sure as we'll be discussing in the background, you'll be able to help me.
For real, thank you very much. I'm so excited. All right, I think without further much ado, I know by this time you should be having some good time with your families, but you decided to show up so that we can learn. I will post this on my YouTube, and I know other people will have access to this content, but much more. My interaction with you is something that I have valued so much. I thought of giving out this kind of information for free, and you have shown up, and I believe it has added value to your knowledge, and you will continue to use it. And it's something that when you look behind, you will say, one day I did this free course, which helped me to into another step further. I'm so excited. Thank you very much. Thank you so much, Mr. Cassius and Madam Theoma. Enjoy the Easter holiday, and good night.
Thank you. Same to you. Good night too.
Bye.
Thank you. Good night. Okay.
Okay, good night.
Good night. Oh, I didn't know that you had switched on your camera. Thank you very much. All right. Bye-bye.